Well, good morning, everyone. This is Keith with Positively Osceola, another one of our Daybreak live episodes. And I tell you, we've interviewed a lot of folks over the years, and I'm not sure we've ever interviewed one that's like right on a horse while we do the interview. So today we're gonna strike forth on a new path, and we're gonna always involve livestock on these shows. So actually want to introduce one of my friends, and that would be the big boss from Silver Spurs Riding Club, and his name is Clifton Chapman. How are you doing there, Clifton?
Doing good. How are you? Appreciate you
Good.
having me.
Hey, glad you could make it. Obviously, we've come upon your work time, so we're glad you could try to do two things at once here.
Yeah, no problem. Hey, that's what it's about.
It is. It is. We got some people popping in, so we're going to do our little opening intro video, and then we'll make it official. Okay with you?
All right, sounds good.
Here we go. Well, again, this is Keith with Positively Osceola here in our Daybreak Live episode here on Wednesday, October 12th. And we are with Clifton Chapman, Big Boss, Silver Spurs Rodeo, making sure that everything is going according to plan out there today. And he's obviously working.
Yep.
So we're glad you could be a part of it. So why don't you just go ahead and give us a heads up of what you're doing today? It's actually kind of a cool look you got going out there.
Yeah. So we're this is our fall working season. So we're bringing all the cows to the pens, and we palpate them. So we pregnancy test them, and if they're pregnant, we give them certain vaccines and dewormers to get them healthy for calving, and then we put them in their breeding herds to breed them this winter. So right now we're crossing a cypress head here, flooded from, of course, all the rain.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. So how did the storm affect you as far as ranching?
We were pretty fortunate as far as the wind damage. We didn't have any structural damage, but dealing with a lot of water. A lot of the ranch lands are slow drainage.
Sure.
And so all of our swamps and everything are so backed up that it's flooding out into pastures, and our roads. A lot of our roads are still underwater. Little ranch roads and things. But we're managing, so we can't complain. As far as that goes, our houses were all good. So.
That's good, man. That's good. So I know your family also is involved in blueberry farming out there. So how'd that make out? Did everything okay for the blueberry farm?
Yeah, we're probably going to see our biggest damage in there.
Yeah.
They were completely flooded, so all of the plants were underwater.
Right.
And so we'll probably see a long-term damage there, whether it's funguses or
sure,
or just water flooding damage there.
Well, this particular show is going to talk a little bit about rodeo. So if you need to take a breath for a second, so you don't fall into that water.
No, I'm good. Hey, I'm normally not doing an interview, but modern day, we're always on the phone anyway. So
digital ranching.
Yeah, this is normal.
You're a digital rancher, man.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. So why don't we? So we obviously why don't you tell us a little bit about the Silver Spurs Riding Club, if you could, if you don't mind, a real quick version of it.
Yeah. So the Silver Spurs is built on all volunteers. We're a 501c, and so we're not for profit. And it was based on years ago, back in 1941, and the group got together to want to basically ride their horses together. And and that's why it's called the Riding Club. And they performed and did different things, which then developed into our quadrille. But then after that, they put on their first rodeo in 1944 to raise money for the war effort. And ever since then, it's continued to be, a way to give back to the community and raise money and help people out. And at the same time, enjoy the sport of rodeo and the traditions we have in agriculture and specifically the cattle industry.
Yeah, you know what's really been, I think, awesome as the years have gone on, and our county has certainly grown rapidly, which your organization realizes that. You're seeing that COVID certainly had an effect on everything, but Silver Spurs Arena has been just packed, and to me, it's a wonderful statement to what the organization does, not just what you do on the dirt. But what you do around the county, I think people are catching on as they move into the community from all over the world, really.
Right.
From everywhere, from up north in the United States, from the Caribbean area, from all over the world, and they're enjoying the sport of rodeo brought by Silver Spurs Riding Club. That's got to be something that you've actually loved to see as Big Boss.
Yeah, for sure. And it's such a cool experience because it's different than a lot of the entertainment industry. It's, we're there, we're competing in a sport, but we're also, there's a tradition there and heritage of where not only this county, but, our whole country, agriculture is so important, cattle industry and how we were, started. And the other thing is, we celebrate being American. We celebrate our religion and freedoms, and that all is encompassed in our rodeo. And I think everyone gets that feel when they come to our rodeo, is it's bigger than just a competition.
Agreed.
So,
As you can see in this picture right here, it's all ages. You see the young kids right there. It's great.
yep. And that's it involves the youth, and it's a I can say firsthand it's a great way to be raised, around the rodeo, and just everybody is there to help each other. It's a good environment.
And so sadly, certainly we all experienced in different ways in Florida, certainly Southwest Florida, Southern West Florida really impacted hugely, just devastation.
Yeah.
Certainly saw some devastation in Osceola County as well and nearby counties, but not to the level that we were seeing down in Lee County, certainly Sanibel Island, Captiva, the Fort Myers area. But unfortunately, it did cause the cancellation of the June rodeo, certainly, as we all know, and disappointing. But again, another giving opportunity as the building was used and still is being used for shelter right now. But one thing I wanted to point out before, I know you can't be with us too long because you're working, but I wanted to point out something you guys did, which I thought was really awesome, and so did the community, and that is you had purchased, and I'm not going to say it for you the whole thing, but I know you had food on hand, and you chose to use it for the community. Why don't you tell us about that a little bit?
Yeah, so obviously to be prepared for our Boots, Bulls, and Barrels event that was scheduled for that weekend, we had all of our food bought and ready to cook for the concession stands. Well, we held out as long as we could, not knowing where the storm was going to go. It's always hit or miss on forecasting. So once we realized, it's going to impact our county pretty heavily, we needed to make that decision so we could be a partner with the Emergency Operating Center, and they can use our arena for evacuation issues, equipment storage or whatever they need it for. It's very valuable for that. And so we have this food on hand, and it's like, you know what? Let's not just return it or put it in a freezer and use it for the next event. Let's use it and cook it up. And there's going to be a lot of hungry people, and whether it's first responders, emergency people, evacuees who have nowhere to go and maybe lost everything. And so, it's a small amount, but in that moment, it can be a big impact to somebody. And we said, it's the right thing to do. That's what our association's about. And so we didn't even think twice about it. And it all came together on a Thursday evening. We sent out messages, and I was hoping if we could get 10 volunteers from our members, we could probably get it done. And we ended up with over 30 people there cooking and wrapping. And we didn't even have buns for the burgers and hot dogs. And we cooked over 1,100 hamburgers and 900 hot dogs without a single bun to start. And before we could get the first burger off the grill, there were people showing up with any kind of bread they could find, fresh bakery. They were hitting them up over and over, grocery stores. And at that time, it was hard to find bread. And it was amazing, the people that were able to just drive around the county looking for bread so they would have a complete meal. And
the county commissioner Ricky Booth reached out to Positively Osceola and let us know that you guys are over there cooking.
Yeah.
And so we had over there and got some pictures, and it was pretty outstanding just to see. Like you said, it was everybody came together immediately, made it happen. And I think we reached 80,000 people with those posts in about 2 hours, because so many people were just really grateful you guys stopped what you were doing. And, the reality is on these storms, it can be hard to volunteer because you're having to worry about your own property or your own family. So those folks that came out and helped you were also giving of themselves and stopped what they were doing for their own family. So it's a big statement of what Silver Spurs Riding Club really does for the community.
Yes. Yeah. And like I said, it's all volunteers, and it amazes me year in and year out, and especially now as I see it more.
Sure.
How great our people are that are involved and selfless. And nobody gets any gain out of it, as far as any kind of financial or anything like that. It's all about being there for the people in the community and coming together as an association.
It's a big deal. Well, we all appreciate you very much. I know you got to kind of get back to what you're doing. We've been fortunate not to see you fall here live.
Me too. That would be bad. But we'll be back. I just want to say, so we'll be back. Our February rodeo will be on schedule. So February 11th, we'll have our Monster Bulls. So if you miss this one, obviously, come see us then. And then February 17th, 18th, and 19th, we'll actually be celebrating our 150th pro sanctioned rodeo. So that'll be a pretty cool weekend.
Well, we're looking forward to it. Certainly, I'm sure everyone else will be when you go this long without the largest rodeo southeast of the Mississippi. It's going to be a big time spring rodeo. So we look forward to seeing it, and we really appreciate you taking time today with us, Clifton.
You bet. Thank you. And I want to tell you too, I can't say enough about Positively Osceola and what y'all do. And I just think you're one of the truest and best influences or news reporters here. And I can't say it enough. I think y'all do an amazing job.
Well, we appreciate it. It's all about what you guys are doing. We're just trying to show people what you're doing, and we appreciate that, though. Thank you, man.
All right, you bet. Thank you.
Little glitch for a second there, but we are back, and we're going to call it again. That's Keith with Positively Osceola. If I can get the software working perfectly today, and we should be able to say thank you. Clifton from Silver Spurs Riding Club, again, with Keith with Positively Osceola, making a positive difference in and around Osceola County.